Hi, welcome. I am super excited to dive into this week's topic. We are going to be talking about what to do when your potential clients and people you've been having conversations with are uncertain about whether they want to do business with you. Yikes. Even just saying that kind of makes my stomach tie up in knots. Before we dive in, I want to introduce myself. My name is Christy Lawrence with Time to Profit, and I help business owners increase their profits by helping them find and win clients they love working with. Today, what we're talking about is this idea of what do you do when you've been having conversations with a potential client and they're on the fence. They really just aren't sure if they want to hire you and work with you or buy your product. And here's the thing. This is a huge fear that a lot of people have and why they avoid having conversations with prospects outside of general marketing and what happens online, because we don't want to have to come up against this where maybe there is somebody who has uncertainty and it's right there in our face. We all have these fears. It's totally normal. It's totally human to be worried about what if somebody rejects me? What if someone decides I'm not the best fit for them? What if they think I'm not good enough? Any insecurities or fears, which we all have, will show up when you have a prospect that's on the fence. This will absolutely happen to you at some point if you're putting yourself out there, if you're committed to growing your business and being successful. You will get no's and you will also get maybes. I was actually listening to this writing podcast the other day, and the host said something along the lines of, if you don't put your work out there, there is a 0% chance that you'll get published. And if you do put your work out there, there's more than a 0 chance that you'll get published. And I just loved it because it really puts it in perspective, right? It's like, duh, if we don't put ourselves out there, there's 0 chance we're going to get what we want. And the reality is, when we do put ourselves out there, it doesn't mean that we're guaranteed 100% likelihood that we're going to get what we want, but we certainly increase the likelihood and the odds. And that is true whether we're talking about writing, whether we're talking about art, or whether we're talking about business. And sometimes we really underestimate that. Part of owning and running a business is putting yourself out there, whether it's you personally or the product or service that you offer. So what do we do about this? We know it's going to happen. What do we do when it does? So there's 2 key things that I really want to hone in on today around this topic of what happens when your prospects have uncertainty about working with you. The first area that I'm going to talk about is how you can take care of yourself and stay in the process and stay there with the prospect in a healthy way without beating yourself up. And then the second thing that I'm going to talk about is how do you help your clients get off the fence and make a decision. So let's dive in and tackle this hairy, scary topic. Okay, so first, how do you take care of yourself? You've been putting yourself out there, you've maybe made a proposal, you've had conversations, and you're getting a lot of uncertainty back. I don't know, I'm unsure, I don't know if this is going to be the best fit, let me get back to you. All kinds of hesitation. And the first thing I want you to do is recognize that more often than not, that hesitation and that uncertainty is not personal. Change is hard for people. And anytime that you are asking somebody to buy something from you for the first time, you are essentially asking them to make some type of change in their life. And sometimes that change in and of itself is enough to create hesitancy and uncertainty. It's really this kind of, I was going to just say a really bad analogy, but poop or get off the pot, I guess, right? When you're actually making a buying decision, you can't just be talking about the changes you're going to make anymore. You're making that. And that's true whether it's in your business, whether you're a consultant or you're are a consultant and your clients are hiring you to help them with their business, you're making another level of commitment. Whether you're in real estate, okay, we're really going to sell our home. All of these are huge changes that people are making. And sometimes in the sales process, we really forget that. So remind yourself, you are asking your clients and your potential clients to make a change. And that is hard for them. And so it's natural that they would feel some uncertainty. It's not necessarily reflective of you or something you've done in the sales process. The second thing that I really want you to remember if you are facing this scenario where you're dealing with somebody who's really uncertain about working with you, they're not sure, just remember that you are not going to be the best fit for everybody that you reach out to everyone that you pitch, to everyone that you make a proposal to. And I use this example. It's super ridiculous, but I hate watermelon. I know it's crazy. People are always like, how can you hate watermelon? I do. Now, this doesn't mean that watermelon is bad or watermelon's not good enough or watermelon's the worst fruit. It just doesn't work for me. I don't like it. It's the only fruit I won't eat. I don't like it. What can I say, right? And that doesn't mean the watermelon is bad. Now, this is true for us too. Sometimes you're going to be the watermelon and somebody's just not going to see the value. They're not going to appreciate it. They're not going to get it. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that, again, anything is inherently wrong or bad with you or your product or your service. Let me actually break this down in a more tangible example for you related to business. So I facilitated a client workshop a while back, and after I did that, I sent out a survey to all of the attendees. One person said that they strongly disagreed that the session was engaging. It was like a gut punch. I'm like, oh gosh, I suck, I'm awful, right? This is the natural human reaction when we get feedback. It happens to everyone. And it's really important. I had to be very mindful of recognizing that 84% of the participants said that it was engaging, that it was meaningful. So who was right and who was wrong in this scenario? Here's the kicker. Maybe they were both right. They just had different preferences. Maybe the client who didn't find it engaging didn't resonate with me. There was something about the way that I was presenting the information that they weren't connecting with. Their experience isn't wrong, but that doesn't mean that the 84% of people who found it engaging were wrong either. Both people can be right. Sometimes it's just a matter of preference. And so when you're getting that hesitation, remember it's okay for your client or a prospective client to have an opinion, to be on the fence, and that doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong with you. So now what happens though, right? That doesn't make the feeling of that gut punch go away, or like, the self-doubt and the imposter syndrome and all that stuff when we're faced with a maybe that comes up. How do we move forward with that? What I want you to do is I want you to create one space that you can have your go-to positive affirmations from other people. I have a folder of emails from clients that are talking about the ways that I've impacted their business, how I've helped them to win more sales, how their people on their team are having so much more confidence and so much more success than before we worked together. And I have those and I go back and I revisit them because sometimes we have a bad day and we need that support. We're going to hear the negative messages a lot more than we're going to hear the positive ones. So we need to put those positive messages out somewhere where we can see them and access them. So when we get in that place of self-doubt and worry and feeling like we're not good enough, we can go back and revisit the positive feedback that we're received as well. And it's just a good reminder that one person's opinion doesn't define you or the work you're doing. The next thing I want you to do is ask yourself, what can you do to improve on your next pitch? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about empowering yourself with the knowledge that you can keep getting better. And sometimes small tweaks make a profound difference. The other thing about this is we always want to be self-reflective in business. Where can I get better? This is how we continue to grow and evolve and not stay stagnant. What can I do better? What might have made this more seamless? How would it have been easier for the client to say yes? Were there things where I wasn't really hearing the client and addressing their concerns? All of these are great questions to ask yourself. And the other thing about this is it empowers you. It changes your mindset from one of passivity to one of action and empowerment, that you have the ability to make tweaks and make changes and continue to get better so that you continue to win more of the clients that you want to work with. Now, once you've gotten yourself in a good headspace around the clients, maybe or uncertainty around working with you or buying your product, there's some things that you can actually do to help your clients make a clear decision. I want to be really clear here, and I want you to really hear me on this. The goal isn't to get your clients to say yes. The goal is to help them make a decision. Uncertainty sucks for everyone. For you as the business owner who's waiting to hear, do they want to work with me? Are they going to pick me? To the business owner who's thinking, I've got to make a decision on this. I need to move forward. Is this the right decision? It takes a lot of mental energy to be in the place of uncertainty. Making decisions takes mental energy, and the goal of sales is always to be of service. Helping your prospective clients get clarity is of great service to them. So again, when what we're talking about here right now isn't how to get your clients to say yes, it's how to help them make a decision. How do you do that? First, ask yourself this: is this potential client truly a good fit? Is what you're offering of value for that specific person given the scenario that they're in? There are going to be times when the answer to this question is no, and that's okay. But be clear on that, whether the answer is yes or no, and why or why not, before you try to help the prospective client get clarity. Get clear yourself and be honest in your assessment of that. Not everyone's going to be a good fit for you, just like you're not going to be a good fit for everyone. Next, be curious. Why are they unsure? Here's a hint. You can ask them. You can totally ask them, and you'll get a lot more insights than if you try to guess. Some easy ways to ask is there any information I can provide that would help you make a decision? What's keeping you from feeling confident in saying yes or saying no, right? What's holding you back from feeling clear about how to move forward with this? Again, the goal here isn't to get them to say yes, it's to get them to make a decision, whatever that decision is. A lot of times we prolong sales conversations because we're scared of a no. This is not a service to your clients. You want to help your clients make confident decisions and move forward so they can move forward in their lives and their businesses as well without having a decision hanging over their head. Most of the time when people are uncertain and they need more information, they're either unsure of the value, they have cost and budget concerns, there's uncertainty around timelines. They're not sure if you're the best fit or if you're going to be able to deliver what you say you're going to be able to deliver. They may have loyalty to another person or product that they feel uncomfortable making a decision around. Or oftentimes there's another decision maker who needs to be involved and isn't. A lot of times when we are having conversations with potential clients, we make assumptions about which one of these things it is that's holding our clients back from making a decision. You're better off just asking. And they'll most of the time be very transparent with you and very honest with you if you ask it in a way that doesn't put pressure on them to say yes, where you're just, let me help you make a decision and unpack if this is a good fit for you right now. Where are you kind of unsure? What's not settling with you to feel confident moving forward? What do you need to know so you can say yes or no, right? These are all ways that say it's okay for you to make a decision even if the decision isn't in my favor. So the once you have asked the question and they give you an answer, be empathetic. Don't argue with them or convince them that what their concern is isn't important or shouldn't matter. You want to actually give them space that you heard them, that these are genuine things and they have a legitimate reason to care about them. So I'm going to use this example. Of course, making sure this fits into your budget is important. Profitability and bottom line pricing matters when you're running a business. Let me ask you this. What do you think is realistic for you given your current cash flow expenditures, right? Totally get it. It makes sense. You have budget concerns. What's realistic? And a lot of times they're going to come back to you with a ballpark of where they need to be. And then with that information, you can decide if you want to negotiate. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. It's okay either way. There's also sometimes ways when people give you that information, whether it's timeline, whether it's budget, whether it's decision maker, where you can propose some different ways to have flexibility that don't impact the bottom line of your business either. You also might want to ask some clarifying questions here. Right? So sometimes people have more than one concern. They might have one primary concern and then a couple secondary concerns. If we don't uncover what those other concerns are underneath the primary concern, we're not really doing our job in helping them move forward and make a decision. So let me give you an example of this. right? Clarifying questions. Okay, if we can find a budget that works for both of us, do you have the information on everything else you need to move forward, right? And the goal here is to find out if there are issues so that you can address all of them. It's not to like force them that, well, you said you were going to do it if we came to budget and I came to budget, now you have to work with me. No, that's not the goal here. The goal is just to say, let me get the information that I need to get you the information you need so you can take this off your plate and move forward. Okay? So I really want to be super clear about that. Super important. The final thing I want to say here, and I've said this probably 10 times already, is that the goal isn't to get your prospects to say yes. It's to help them make a decision for them based on their goals, desires, and current realities. So if budget or timeline and other things aren't aligned, that's okay. You can even say something like, it sounds like we're pretty far off on budget. I'd love to work with you, but I don't want you to move forward unless you're 100% confident that this makes sense financially for your business. How about we table this for now and we can revisit this in X amount of time when your cash flow might have improved? Oh, okay. Yep, that sounds great. Here's some recommendations of some readings or some things that you can do in the meantime that might help you get some momentum around this, right? It's okay. That is a win. Getting an answer, even if the answer is not yes, is still a win in sales. This helps your clients to make good decisions without the fear of disappointing you. And this is so important because if somebody makes a decision to work with you or buy your product because they felt pressure and it really isn't the best choice for them, oftentimes they will come back down the road and they'll be disappointed. They'll be dissatisfied. They'll be high maintenance. There'll be a lot of challenges in working with those clients who felt pressured. We want to find win-win scenarios so that the sales process is rewarding for both you and your prospects. If you want more strategies to help you find and win your dream clients, visit mytimetoprofit.com and download the guide, 5 questions to multiply your sales, and the sales planning tools and checklists that are on the homepage. Again, that's mytimetoprofit.com. See you next week.